Compared internationally, Mexico is one of the countries lacking orderly planning to face the pandemic and has missed out on opportunities. The data shows that the government does not appear to solve the problems. On the contrary, many indicators show stagnation and even regression that will negatively impact future generations. With the route that Mexico has decided to take, it will not be easy to recover the levels of progress and growth achieved by the end of 2018. International studies describe our democracy as a hybrid regime tending towards authoritarianism and warn of the infiltration of organized crime in local and national governmental spheres. So far in the current administration, Article 19 has registered 30 murders against journalists for reasons related to their work. UNESCO reported that in 2021, Mexico was the most lethal country for journalists, and the organization Reporters Without Borders already considered Mexico the most dangerous country in the world for journalists. The military's involvement in public security is total, and this has not meant an improvement in the most critical violence indicators. The years 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 have been the highest number of intentional homicides in Mexico's history. In the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, illness and death are not only health statistics, but the ultimate expression of inequalities in a country with high levels of poverty, which place Mexico at number 8 out of 36 OECD member countries. Life expectancy at birth has dropped 2.5 years for women and 3.6 years for men in 2021. Mexico is the country with the worst conditions to face the pandemic among OECD countries, with 3 doctors and nurses for every 1,000 people, while the OECD average is 9. Closing schools for long periods have compromised the education of millions of children and youngsters of learning age during the pandemic. According to the reports from UNESCO, UNICEF, and the World Bank, Mexico is one of the countries showing the most significant learning loss in mathematics and reading, along with Brazil, Pakistan, India, and South Africa. In economics, INEGI data shows that the 2019-2021 period constitutes a disaster stage in the last 40 years, and it is estimated that the investment loss is around 1 trillion pesos. Deciding to process oil to transform it into petroleum products implies a more significant loss for Pemex, since its profit margin in refining is only 31 cents per barrel. The profit margin in extraction is counted in tens of dollars. In terms of environmental care, Mexico is among the worst globally. It ranks 24th in the world and second in Latin America in the ranking of highest water stress. Only 43% of the population has access to safe drinking water, and 57.3% have access to sanitation. In 2019 and 2020, Mexico entered the group of the 10 countries that lost the most virgin forests globally. Although CONACYT's budget increased 9.2% in 2022, the highest figure recorded in this administration, it still does not reach 2018 levels. The Special Program for Science, Technology, and Innovation implied the disappearance of research funds for more than 50 billion pesos. The evidence shows a country increasingly affected by the imposition of a political and ideological project, bureaucratic improvisation and inefficiency, and institutional destruction and dismantling. 2 years after the COVID-19 pandemic declaration and more than 3 years of government, Mexico continues to be mired in a discourse based on animosity to the past, hatred of science, and the promotion of polarization and confrontation among Mexicans.